All right, boys. So a lot of you have seen my Instagram videos. You guys have seen my TikToks, and a lot of you in my comment section are asking, how do I sell on Amazon? How do I start? So in this video, as somebody who's been selling on Amazon for over a year, making thousands of dollars a day in revenue, I'm going to tell you exactly what I wish I did when I first started to prevent losing money and prevent losing time. So as long as you guys copy these steps, you honestly should be completely straight. There's no gatekeeping. I'm going straight to the point. What I would do if I had to start completely over and start today. There's a couple of things that you have to understand about Amazon first, right? So there's 4 different business models. You got retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesaling, and private label. Okay. Retail arbitrage, essentially what it is that you're just going in store, you're finding a product by scanning it, and if it's profitable, you're taking it home and shipping it out. Right? That's what retail arbitrage is. I spent my first 2 months/month on Amazon doing retail arbitrage. I regret that. The reason why I regret that is because I feel like if I put in all that time with online arbitrage, I would have had way more of a selection. I could have moved way quicker. I could have found way more products because I was driving to stores, scanning everything on their shelf, and I was barely finding anything, right? It does work. I hit my first 5K month through retail arbitrage, but I feel like if I dedicated those same exact hours into online arbitrage, I would have maybe did 15K because I have way more of a selection. I can move way quicker. I don't have to drive. I can sit at home and do it. So what I wish I did is just start online arbitrage. If you guys have free time, retail arbitrage does still work. So let's say you spend the whole day doing online and then you're ending your day. Instead of watching Love Island that night or something, you could just go ahead, go to a store, and you can start scanning products. It's better than wasting your time watching Love Island. How online arbitrage works, right, is that essentially you go on a website that sells a product for cheap and you just sell it for higher on Amazon. How that works is, let's say I find Colgate toothpaste, right, on a Walgreens website going for $2. And then I look up the same product on Amazon. All I'm doing is supplying inventory to that listing that already exists. If I look up on Amazon, Colgate toothpaste, I'm just supplying inventory to that listing that already exists. So you guys are probably asking, okay, so if you're not creating a listing, how are you getting sales, right? So how Amazon works is that they actually rotate who's getting the sale between the sellers, right? So if there's 20 people supplying inventory to one listing, Amazon every hour will pick the inventory from someone else. So that's the best way I could explain it for beginners. But essentially, as long as you have good shipping time, a good price, then you should be fine to get sales, right? You don't have to run any ads. You don't have to run any marketing. It's very simple. You literally just supply inventory to the product. So that's what I really like about Amazon, is that whole entire aspect. But the reason why I'm bringing that up with online arbitrage is because it just makes it so much easier. You don't have to go out and do anything. You could buy just 10 units if you want to. It's not like wholesale where you're minimum 5K, right? You could buy 10 units. You made a mistake and you lost $1 a unit, you only lost $10. If you do wholesale and you had to buy 1,000 units and you made a $2 mistake, you just lost $2,000. This is what online arbitrage looks like, right? So you're going on websites, you're finding products for cheap, you're going to be using the Seller Amp extension, and you're going to be finding it for higher. This is what I would spend most of my time doing. I would wake up, go to a coffee shop, just learn how to do online arbitrage, guys. There's a couple of different sourcing methods that come to that, right? There's manual sourcing, there's reverse sourcing, there's keep a product finder. What I recommend and what I wish I was doing, because starting out, I was just manual sourcing. What that is I was just going on websites, going one by one until I found a product. That's what I regret doing. What I should have done instead is reverse sourcing off of auto ungated ASINs. That's what I wish I did. If you guys learn how to do that and you start quick, you'll get far so quickly, because now that you're building up sales on your account through auto ungated products, because you can sell them instantly, you will be way more likely to get approved to sell products later on, since you already have sales on your account. Once you hit 5K sales, you're going to get auto-ungated for more products. Once you hit 10K sales, you're going to get auto-ungated for more products. Once you hit 50K, 100K, 150K, the more and more sales you build up, the easier it is to get ungated. So starting out, hard to get ungated on a restricted product. So I would avoid that. Right now, Amazon, they're requiring 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, wholesale invoice to even get ungated for a product. I don't recommend that at all. If you're starting out, since you have no sales, make it easier on yourself. Try to strictly look for auto-ungated products by doing that sourcing method. Reverse sourcing off of auto-ungated ASIN. If you guys don't know any of these sourcing methods that I'm talking about, literally just click my channel and I went into super deep depth about exactly how to do it. So if you're confused about anything I'm saying in this video, go to the YouTube channel, watch it, and if you listen to it, there's absolutely no way, as long as you put in the time, that you don't make money. Everybody else is reverse sourcing off of just any product. And when you do that, you're way more likely to find restricted products, and then you just give up because you can't find any product. But when you reverse source off of an auto-ungated product, you're way more likely to find more auto-ungated products, since a seller is selling that current product that you don't have to apply to get ungated. That's exactly what I do. I honestly wish I knew that. I didn't even find that out until months later. If I knew that, I probably would have been at 20K days right now. You guys have the potential to do that, right? I haven't even been on Amazon for a year, and I'm already doing thousands of dollars a day. So just listen to that. You guys will move so quick. They just put in the time. Continuing on to what other models are on Amazon that you could do, one of them is wholesale, right? So me personally, I don't think wholesale is beginner friendly at all. You guys need to become familiar with Amazon first. You need to know what you're looking for, and you don't want to start that through wholesale because your minimum is like $5,000 to start this business model. And if you make a mistake because you have no knowledge on Amazon, because you're experimenting with wholesale, you're going to lose so much money. So always, 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 if you're brand new, no matter what model you want to get into, start online arbitrage. Even if you want to get into private label, which I'm going to bring up in a second, start online arbitrage. Understand how Amazon works before you dump so much commitment and bread into a model. Model that you could also be doing on Amazon is wholesale. I do not recommend this personally at all starting out because you guys are going to be experimenting with way too much money. A minimum wholesale order is probably going to be around like $5,000. So if you know absolutely nothing about Amazon, why would you start so big? Always, always, always start with online arbitrage. Get a feel of the system, understand what you're looking at, and then if you actually feel comfortable and confident, then you could tap into wholesale after you build a certain amount of sales. But there is a couple cons to it. It's way harder than online arbitrage. Online arbitrage is finding low products, selling it for higher. That's why it's way more beginner friendly. When it comes to wholesale, there's a lot that you're going to be doing. There's a lot of mistakes that you can make. So just never start it unless you have a lot of capital, minimum 5K, and you already started online arbitrage. You guys cannot just start Amazon and be like, oh, I want to go into wholesale. You guys could do it later on, but I do not recommend doing it at all. I wasted my time researching wholesale when I first started out because I just wanted to get straight to the money. Everyone on TikTok was like, I wholesale, I wholesale, I wholesale. And then I realized there's online arbitrage people doing 100K a month. It's like, why am I tripping about wholesale just because there's TikTokers talking about it, right? So I spent way too much time researching this. It's not going to work. Get a feel for Amazon first. And then once you have enough capital, minimum 5K, like I said, then tap into it. Do not research on stuff that does not matter. If you're starting out and you're not doing FBA, why are you researching on how to do FBA? Focus on FBM. Only focus on what you're actually doing. When you're starting out, the most important things is learn how to find a product, which I told you reverse source off of auto and gated ASINs. 2, learn how to read a product. Learn how to read IP complaints, section 3s to read how to prevent getting a section 3. Learn how to read the Keepa charts. Learn how to read the buy box. Learn how to read all the charts and the variations. Learn super well on how to read the product so that you do not lose money. The main things you need to focus on. Don't focus on these random things like researching FBA when you're not doing it, researching wholesale when you're not doing it. None of that makes sense. Focus on how to reverse source off of auto and gated ASINs and how to read the product to know if it's good or not. If you're completely clueless, look at my channel. I have super deep analysis on there of what to look for a winning product. Now, the last business model that you could do on Amazon, which takes minimum 10K, is creating your own brand. This is called private label. You develop your brand, you manufacture the product from China, and then you slap your own name on it, and then you have to create your own listing. You have to run ads. You have to run marketing. It takes way more work. Online arbitrage, you don't run ads, you don't run marketing. With retail, you don't do any of that, right? The reason why that is because since you're selling a product that's already known, they're promoting the product for you. So for example, if you're selling Colgate toothpaste, right? Colgate toothpaste is already pushing out ads, already pushing out marketing. Everybody already knows what it is, so you don't have to run that. Everybody already knows what Amazon is. You don't have to promote Amazon. So you don't have to run ads or marketing doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage or wholesale because it's strictly an inventory-based model. You guys need to realize that at the start. Only thing that you need to focus on is exactly what I said before, how to source, how to find products. It's literally just an inventory-based model. No ads, no nothing. If you master that skill, you will grow so quickly. Now, if you do want to get into this, it's going to be like minimum 10K. It's way different. Starting out, I also would not recommend this. Best things to do is online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. If you want to scale faster, I personally would do online. So these are the differences with online arbitrage and private label. The investment is lower with online, time commitment is less, the risk level is less, long-term. Online arbitrage is pretty long-term after you sell 2,000 units on your Amazon store. Once you sell 2,000 units on your Amazon store, it's really hard to get deactivated because Amazon trusts you a lot. So stick to that, guys. Also, guys, my best advice is honestly do not work at home when you're doing this. I went to a cafe every single day. I wanted no distractions. I sat there and I just worked. Cafe is actually a money glitch. You guys will realize that pretty soon. First, I was working at home and my parents are knocking on my door. People are asking what I'm doing. Like I'm getting asked for favors. Like you need to lock in. You go to a cafe, you sit there with your laptop and you work. So just to summarize what I've talked about in this video, if I were to start completely over again, I would find an auto-gated ASIN, reverse source from that ASIN, perfect on how to know if a product is good or not, so I don't waste my time, waste money, or any of that. I would perfect it. I would make sure I know what I'm actually looking at, and I would not focus on stuff that doesn't matter. You guys are worried about your LOC and you haven't even gotten your first sale yet. That doesn't make sense. You're worried about your store username. That doesn't make sense. These are stuff that you could literally be changing anytime. Do not focus on low leverage tasks. Focus on high leverage. Reverse source, it's an inventory based model. You literally just need to master that skill and you'll be straight. You want to have a low risk level. A lot of you guys are also my age. I'm 19 right now. You guys are 18, 19, 20, right? You guys are doing the same exact thing. Don't want to take high risks. Just don't spend so much time researching also. Once you do the research and you understand how to read a product, you don't need to keep on watching these videos. The only way you're going to learn now is literally just going and sourcing. That's the only way you're going to keep on learning. So take more action than research. Keep watching my videos. You'll actually be a GOAT.